What is up, YouTube? Welcome to another build order guide. This time we're going to be taking a look at the English again. English since the recent patch of 1. The Mangonel nerf, and also the buff with the extra 50 starting wood and the faster training men-at-arms. English has risen to the top for the first time outside of probably like the alpha stage of the game. English is considered to be a top tier civ, and this is one of the most popular builds going around, or at least some sort of variation of this, and it is the greedy wheelbarrow opening with farms as the English. It's a very economic focused build, but also at the same time, it doesn't slow down like your production in Feudal Age. You can still get out a very sizable mask very quickly as the English, thanks to the Council Hall, and also having a really nice constant stream of food eco that you don't have to worry about running out anytime soon. Now, in this video, I'm not actually going to be providing a PDF for this build order. Rather, I'll leave the written steps down in the comments below, as this isn't a lengthy guide, as the variations within Feudal are very extensive. There is a lot of different options that you have as the English now. You can go for that standard, all in. Well, it's not so much all in because you've got a nice eco. The longbow pike pressure, you can go men-at-arms longbow. You can even add in horsemen. Horsemen are even becoming a reasonable choice for English. Or you can go for a more greedy focus, like getting all your eco techs and trying to just defend whatever your enemy throws at you. Or you can do the, make a few longbows, make it look like you're going for an all-in in Age 2. And then off the back of that, just quickly go up the castle and produce knights or whatever it may be. So there is a lot of different options after the initial steps of this build. So I've only included up till Feudal Age, and then from there I've kind of listed a few of the different options you have as the video goes on, so stay tuned for that. And if you enjoy, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll be coming out with a lot more build order guides in the near future. Just because the new patch is here, pretty much every civ is viable at this stage. Well, arguably, maybe HRE is not at the top level, with the exception of Mongolian Heights. Nonetheless, it's exciting that we're getting to see a lot of action from all the civs, and balance is the best it's ever been. So, outside of Mangonels, of course, they are quite terrible right now. But nonetheless, hopefully you enjoy the guide, guys, and I'll get right into it. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is build a lumber camp, send 2 guys across to gold straight away, Q-Vills obviously, and I like to have 1 Vill go to sheep. Now all of our new Vills are now going to come onto sheep, and with this food Vill, we're going to build a mill. And the reason we're building a mill super early is obviously so we can get farms down, but also so we can get wheelbarrowing queue as soon as possible. And we're just going to do the usual of scouting around the base, build a house as well with a wood villager. Collect all the sheep obviously, but keep in mind, with this build, some people like to go for 2 scouts for different reasons. I personally don't. I think it's going to slow your age up. And you don't really need the sheep. Obviously with this build we're going to be making a lot of farms in Age 1. So that's why you don't really need the sheep. 2 scouts definitely has utility outside of just finding sheep. Being able to effectively scout your opponent, and also have a scout at home to defend off enemy scouts. Or just scout in multiple locations. So as soon as you get the 150 gold, you want to put wheelbarrow in tech, and as soon as I have 5 guys on food, that's when I'll start building farms. If you build farms too early, sometimes you can not have enough food for training bills. So just continue scouting around the map. As soon as a new Vill comes out, or whatever, you could honestly task a Vill out here, and each time a new Vill is created, assuming you have the wood, you can build a farm. But I like to just put them on food, and then rally them across, because when you have 3 on wood, you might not have the wood available to build a farm instantly. We're 1 short at the moment, you could always manually drop off. But this is just more simple, so if you want to keep it simpler, just toss them onto sheep and then build farms as you get the food for it. Now, the reason I place my farms like this, this is going to be slightly more efficient for this fill because they can drop off at the TC rather than the mill. The efficiency is very minuscule, but nonetheless, I like to implement it. This is something that Vortex originally started doing, and I believe someone in the community, I'm not sure who exactly, tested it, and it was very, very slightly more efficient. So we're continuously sending to food here and keeping the 2 on gold, so that once we have the food to age up, the gold should be roughly 200, maybe 210. But some people like to go 4 vils on wood. I personally don't. I know you can get up slightly faster if you have 3 on wood, plus you're not sacrificing too many farms in the process. Like if you wanted to, you could build another 2 farms here. And that's perfectly fine. And then when it comes to aging up, we're still going to go with the council hall, I think, in most situations. Well, if you're playing the game seriously, in pretty much every situation, the council hall is going to be better. Just so you have the option of going longbows to defend early pressure. Or if you see that your opponent's being extra greedy, you can go out and try to punish them. So we have the food to age up round about now. Drop it off manually. Oh, the gold's not in yet. And then you build a landmark. So at this stage, it's really going to depend. Like, there's no right amount to build the council hall with in terms of villager numbers. It's really going to depend on what you've scouted from your opponent. If you see they're aging up very aggressively, you might want to put up to 6 vils. But if you see that your opponent's doing something more greedy, or if they're aging up a bit later, then that's when you can kind of consider putting less on. Maybe you could do like 4, 3. Keep in mind, the less you have on, obviously you're going to age up quite a considerable amount later. And then from here, I like to go majority to wood. Usually I just keep like pretty much the farm vills on here. And then the rest go to wood so that you can drop a barracks if you want to do that. Obviously afford housing, and you can pump out longbows as soon as you age. So that's the opening, guys. From here, it really depends on the game, the matchup, what you're scouting your opponent is making. But generally speaking, longbow pike is going to be a great option. Sometimes adding in horsemen as well can be viable. If you see that your opponent's going like full archers and you wanted to exploit that, you could go horsemen. But you can always just go like mass longbow yourself. Like longbow being the best archers in the game at the moment. Very strong option. And from here, you can either decide that you want to go fast castle. Maybe make a few longbows to make your opponent think you're playing feudal, and then go into castle age. It's quite hard for the opponent to punish English, just because you have the network of castles. You have the extra TC fire as well, and your vils can also shoot as well. So your macro is going to be very heavily dependent on what you decide to do from here. If you are going horsemen, you're obviously going to need more food. So that could involve you like building a few more farms. Or you could just put like more vils on sheep. And the good thing about English now is like every unit comp is viable for them right now. You can go men-at-arms, longbow, really good. Generally speaking though, I like to add in men-at-arms a little bit later on in feudal, once you can kind of have the farming eco to support that production and the spam of men-at-arms. But that's the opening, guys. Hopefully you found this helpful and you can implement this yourself. And yeah, if you're going for obviously food heavy comp, just put more on food. If you're going for a heavy archer comp, like pretty much pure longbow, you can go like a roughly 50-50 split with food and wood here. If you're going men-at-arms or longbows, again, you want to put more on food, etc, etc. And like any build order, guys, there is a certain point at which the build order becomes redundant. And this build order is basically redundant as soon as you hit age 2. It's not redundant, sorry, but like there is no right way to do it once you hit age 2. So I guess we can talk through a couple of options here that you have. And some of it is, if I want to go like super greedy single TC English build, I will actually like pull a couple of bills off of food, go say like 5 on gold, like once you've aged up to age 2. And then first I'll get Broadaxe, and then once I have enough gold, I'll get Horticulture as well. And if you're looking to push with like just longbows as well, or not even necessarily just longbows, I like to drop a Blacksmith. Get your +1 attack and defense if you're just going in an archery war. And then you'll have like Super Jack longbows pretty early on. I don't think like it's ever like too early to get Ecotechs. The only time I would like say that you shouldn't go for anything other than Wheelbarrow is if like your opponent is going super aggressive on the units. In that case, you should focus on the Blacksmith upgrades rather than the like farming and the Broadaxe. But if you feel comfortable defending what they're sending towards you, then you can consider getting Ecotechs while you hold that off, and then look at going up to castle or counter pushing yourself. I don't think, I think going castle is a very viable option now for English, considering that your opponent can't make mangonels and completely destroy your longbow mass in the next stage. So again, it's going to come down to the sieve you're versing. If you're versing French and you see they're going full aggressive, focus on your blacksmith techs first. Don't go too greedy on the mill and chopping upgrade here. And just focus on getting out a good longbow and pike mass to either repel them or like even counter attack them. Another option, if you are up against someone that you know is going to fast castle, and then a good option for you is to actually either follow them up to castle yourself or go in with like a men-at-arm timing push. Like if you can force them off gold and like prevent them from spamming out too many like knights or whatever it may be, then you have a really good chance of getting a lot of damage done. So push forward with like your longbows and like maybe make like another 1 or 2 Raxes depending on what stage you are in the game. Probably just 2 would be the max if they're going fast castle. You can add in more later. And then you just move forward with your longbows, men-at-arms. And what I like to do is once you've established a point and push them off like say their gold mine, just drop a few towers there and put up some upgrade them to arrow slits. So move like 2. If you need arrow slits super quick, and put like 3 on stone. Otherwise 2 is a good number to consistently like be building towers and arrow slits. And then behind that you can either look to ram or you can age up yourself as they're being quite starved of like the gold or whatever resource it is. And then they're really going to be stunted with kind of the unit production they have, and you can just spam out like men-at-arms or knights or whatever it may be. But another thing to like consider as well is now English late game is almost unstoppable. I'd say there's a few civs that can compete with English, but like just the crazy farm eco in combination with no more like mangonels destroying your army, like the men-at-arm longbow spam is like really hard to stop. But again, this has been quite meta, I'd say, in like a lot of matchups. You can kind of get away with this greed in almost any matchup, assuming that you build like the council hall with multiple vills, and having like a farming eco with wheelbarrows set up like as you're going into feudal age is really nice, and it makes it like so that you don't ever forget to add in the wheelbarrow and you don't have that awkward farm transition. You're always going to kind of be set up for the long haul. Especially if like age 2 drags out and your opponent starts running out of food resources, you've got like your whole farming eco set up already. You're not going to have any stagnant times with food eco. And yeah, this has kind of been a great option. I've been using it a lot. I've been seeing it a lot on ladder. So hopefully you guys can utilize this yourself and get you some pixel points. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed this, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer all of them in the next few days. But that's it guys, I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.